Hola, my name is Arnaud Frennet. I live in Chile. I was born and raised in Belgium. I've been in Chile for more than half of my life now, and about 23, 24 years. I practice all kinds of water sport. I'm a big fan of waves. I live in Punta de Lobos here in Chile, which is very famous for the big waves. And I love paddling. I love windsurfing, surfing. And basically I live for the ocean. Well, in my case, I was born and raised in Belgium, so the Netherlands is a place I know very well from years back. I used to go windsurfing when I was very young over there, and so I've always kept it as a part of my roots somehow. And the other part of the decision was basically the fact of that when I heard about it, I just wanted to know if I was able to paddle such a distance. So that's a little bit how it all started. And then it kind of coincided with the moment I had to go to Belgium, and perfect. Let's try to do it. You know, let's. It was a good opportunity to go and race the non-stop. Well, I did a long preparation. I think I started more or less 7 months earlier, and so I generally do a lot of different water sports. But then I try to focus a little bit more on paddling, even if I tried to alternate with different things, so I wasn't getting too bored of just paddling long distance. And I went gradually increasing my distance. And so that was one thing in terms of my resistance, but I prepared a lot on the nutrition as well. The equipment, maybe not so much, because I had access to very good equipment anyway, but nutrition, the time I needed to feed myself, to hydrate, how much did I need to take with me, and also studying the route, because I had never made the race. So I landed in the Netherlands like a day and a half before the race, so I had to study the route a lot to be more prepared and know what to expect, basically. But the physical preparation was long, but I would say smooth and gradual. Yes, as I was saying, I focused more on the paddling than I did less windsurfing, less surfing, less stand-up paddling in waves, for example, and only when the days were really good or when I was too tired to go paddle long distances. So focusing more on that, and also in my race training or paddle racing training, I was focusing a lot on the food and how I was feeding myself, or I could go longer and faster and longer and longer. I did some night training as well. That was really fun, but here it was all winter, so a little bit cold sometimes. And I tried to paddle a little bit more on flat water than in the sea during that time, which basically trying to get as close as to the condition I was going to see in the 11th city. Yeah, I have a race tip, which is kind of a stroke technique or a paddle technique that I used in the 11th city, in the non-stop. Around the half of the race, a little bit more than 100 kilometers into the race, I actually changed my paddle. I went to a stiff shaft to a softer shaft, and that was great. Actually, that was great. It gave me like a new life, a new paddle power. And you know, after paddling 100 kilometers, of course you're very exhausted. And I tried that before in my training, and it worked great. And I think that's one of the tips for such a race. If somebody has ever tried that, at least it worked for me. But I would recommend to try it if someone wants to make the non-stop. Well, actually, the 11th city, the non-stop 11th city, is the longest distance I've paddled, and several times training for it. I did several times 100k, 170k, but the 11th city was actually my longest distance. I like very, very long distance, but I haven't done anything longer than that. Yeah, it meant a lot. As I said, I first went to see if I was able, I started the idea to compete to see if I was able to do the distance. As I was training, I realized I was able to do it, and I was able to keep a very good rhythm through the distance. But I wasn't really expecting to do so well in the race. So yeah, it did mean a lot for me. Here in Chile, it was a big thing. Some people said I was world champion because I had won the longest race. At the time, it was the longest race. But so yeah, it was kind of funny. But no, a great memory. Great time, great memory, great experience. I'm so happy I did it. And winning it at the end is not the most important. It was something extra probably, but the whole experience is what I take out of it. The victory doesn't really matter. I think I've learned so much just in the whole process that I wouldn't have mind to finish last. Yes, actually several, but I think the non-stop is not exactly long distance. The non-stop is more like ultra distance. And in that sense, yes, I did the Molokai to Oahu the year after. I got, we had really hard condition. I think it had been until that day the toughest edition they've had, with a lot of people had to give up. I was able to finish. I got third in my division. It was a very tough race. We didn't get the wind, so it wasn't really downwind. It was really hot and not the typical condition of the Molokai. But again, a great experience. But after that, nothing else. I've been more dedicated to other projects and free riding maybe, or some stand-up adventure, very long distance, but just for myself, not racing. Yeah, first of all, believe in yourself. You're able to do it. Find your pace. I think the first thing is find your pace, the pace you're able to carry on for hours and hours and hours and hours. Make a good nutrition plan, and believe in yourself. It's in your head more than in your muscle, in your body. So it's 80% mental. So believe in yourself and you can do it, no problem. And have fun, that's the most important. Thank you everyone at the SUP 11 City for organizing such a great event. I've taken part only once, but I wish one day I'm able to go back again, and it's definitely one of the most iconic events you can take part in, and I'm so stoked I've been able to do it once in my life. It's such a great experience. I recommend it to anybody, and keep doing it. Hopefully one day I'll be back.